morning, everyone. This is HRTS Newswatch, and this is today's news. Allegations have been made against H.B. Fuller, creator of a toxic shoe adhesive. Ruth Polenko, sister of the late Joel Polenko, has brought this wrongful death lawsuit to the state of Minnesota.
Research shows that this adhesive contains toxic chemicals such as toluene, which is a highly addictive neurotoxin. Repeated abuse can affect the frontal lobes, the switchboard of the brain, which controls emotion. Residol turns off the brain's connection to reality, neutralizing stress, pain, and fear.
Short-term effects include nosebleeds, rashes, and headaches. Long-term abuse can lead to addiction, causing neurological damage, liver or kidney failure, paralysis, and even death.
To understand the impact these adhesives can have on population, we first need to visit Guatemala. Guatemala has the sixth highest rate of chronic malnutrition in the world, at 47%, reaching close to 70% in regions that are mostly indigenous. Inhaling toluene-based products create a high sensation and can alleviate hunger pains by giving the impression of warmth and fullness.
Some companies have attempted to reduce the desirability of their adhesive products by either removing the toxins completely and creating water-based adhesives, or, in the case of one company that makes glue for model airplanes, adding mustard oil. Mustard oil is an irritant that makes glue much more difficult to inhale.
However, some companies are uninclined to change their formula, including the US-based multinational corporation H.B. Fuller. Another Central American country, Honduras, passed a law in 1989 requiring mustard oil to be added to toluene-based product. H.B. Fuller was able to run a successful lobbying campaign to have the law overturned.
Now we're going live to Minnesota with Tansen, who is currently with Ruth Polenko, sister of Joel Polenko, fighting this human rights violation on behalf of her brother and all those who have been impacted by these adhesives.
Hello, HRTS Newswatch viewers. I'm here with Ruth Polenko. Ruth, we recognize that this is a hard time for you and your family, so we appreciate the time you've taken today to speak with us about the suit. Can you please give us more information as to how this has impacted you and what you hope will come from this case? My 16-year-old brother, Joel Linares Polenko, died of kidney failure in January of 1993. He had been addicted to Resistol, the shoe adhesive made by H.B. Fuller. Although it is 1995 now, I have filed a wrongful death suit against H.B. Fuller in the state of Minnesota. It's more than just my brother dying. It's the fact that corporations are not being held accountable for their actions, and that so many innocents are suffering for the profits of these greedy corporations.
The suit alleges that H.B. Fuller contributed to Joel Polenko's death by designing, manufacturing, and marketing a product that was an attractive nuisance to children, and that although they knew this, they did not take any steps to curb this desirability.
As you can see, one of the difficulties in bringing a lawsuit against a multinational corporation is that they have subsidiaries in multiple countries. H.B. Fuller owns 95% of the Panamanian corporation Cativo, which in turn owns all the stock in Fuller Guatemala, a Guatemalan corporation. Now, back to the newsroom.
This just in, H.B. Fuller has just moved to have the case dismissed on 4 grounds. The first being that apparently diversity jurisdiction was not met. Under U.S. law, U.S. courts can hear cases involving parties that are diverse in state and/or nationality. Since H.B. Fuller has a subsidiary in Guatemala, they've argued that the subsidiary must be joined in the suit as a defendant because they manufactured and distributed the glue in Guatemala. If Fuller Guatemala is added to the case as a defendant, then both the plaintiff and defendant would be Guatemalan, diversity would be destroyed, and the U.S. courts would no longer have jurisdiction.
Secondly, H.B. Fuller moved for dismissal on forum non-convenient ground, doctrine that allows a court to stay in action if there is a more convenient alternative forum that the case could be tried in. In this case, Fuller U.S. argued that all relevant evidence and witnesses are in Guatemala, and it would be difficult to arrange for witnesses to appear in American court in order to plead their case.
The third point Fuller U.S. made for the dismissal was the fact that although the plaintiff filed the suit within the limitations period in Minnesota, this period had already lapsed in Guatemala. In order to stop the statute of limitations clock from running out, the plaintiff, Ruth Polenko, originally filed the suit in Texas against Fuller U.S. and its subsidiaries. After arranging for co-counsel in Minnesota to file the suit there, the subsidiaries were dropped from the case.
Fuller U.S.'s final argument is that because the plaintiff had dropped the other two defendants from a previous case based on the same claims, they have effectively made an adjudication on the merits. In other words, the plaintiff had decided that the subsidiaries were not responsible prior to any court decision, and therefore could not seek a court decision based on the same claims against Fuller U.S.
We'll be back in a couple hours with more updates on the court's final decision for the H.B. Fuller versus Polanco case.
Breaking news! New update on the H.B. Fuller versus Polanco case. The court's verdict: complete dismissal of the case. Dismissal of the case was brought by the stating loophole that the subsidiary company should be held responsible for the death. Thus, the parent company will not be prosecuted or held accountable.
Cases similar to this one are regularly dismissed because current law provides large corporations with a myriad of ways of escaping prosecution. Many of these companies operate in countries with fewer health and safety regulations, allowing them to save money. The subsidiary avoids charges because they are meeting the country's standards, and the parent company avoids charges because they are based in another country. This is a loophole that needs to be closed, not just because of the injustice to the Polanco family, but for all past and future victims of these multinational corporations. Truly, this is a sad day for human rights. Here at Human Rights News Watch, we believe that justice will be served and that all of us here and at home can work together to fight these injustices. This is Mira and Nisha signing off, reminding you to believe in the power of people.